let's look at innovation diffusion and adoption. How do these two ideas relate, and how do they connect to the always important user and customer aspect? So we take the definition from Everett Rogers: the process by which an innovation is communicated through certain channels over time among members of a social system. Diffusion is the process by which a new idea or product gets embraced by the market, and the rate of diffusion is how fast that new idea spreads from one user or customer to the next. Rates differ, of course. Innovation adoption generally parallels the pattern of diffusion and classifies the rate of acceptance by types of individual customers. For you to think about, how have changes in social media changed this pattern? If they have, argue for why, or why, if they haven't, why not? And if so, what have the changes been and what do you expect to see next? So overall, we look at this general adoption cycle, very broadly used. The first adopters are really the techies, the first tiny percentage of people in the marketplace who want the latest and often play a gatekeeping role in the flow of, have played a gatekeeping role in the flow of ideas into the marketplace. But with a broader availability, you can write your own reviews and have the whole world read them. Are there new kinds of innovators out there, and what's the role of influencers? Who are they? Has the situation changed for you to ponder? So we look at that innovation adoption cycle, and we see that the next group of early adopters are the visionaries. And in this model, the claim is that you can precisely claim that it's 13.5%. I don't know that was true then, and I certainly don't think that that's true as media changes, but it's still a useful model for figuring out you have to get to different kinds of users. Early adopters let everybody else be more secure about the viability and applicability of a new idea or a new product. And now we look at the next set. These pragmatists are really the early majority, so that's pretty much up to half, and those are willing to adopt an innovation. They don't want to be first, but they like to be at some level in the forefront. And now the late majority, don't make me change. I'm fine with what I have. I have to stop everything and learn how to use a new self-parking car or a new laptop or whatever it is. Don't make me change. But this group can often be peer pressured into, why are you the last person that I can't get into our group chat because you haven't adopted whatever? So they can often be pressured into adopting an innovation. And these may be just a different set, less accustomed to technology. They have a wide range of different profiles, which can be economic, demographic, and so on. And then the last stage, the laggards or skeptics, the last set, they really may not be able to afford it, or they may need the innovation to work every time because they have no backup method if the innovation fails them. So these may have an utterly different profile, and you may or may not need to sell to this last group. So while the diffusion process looks like a standard bell curve, it may be that it skews for different kinds of innovations. it's useful to think about it as you develop the so-called user friendliness of your product, because there will be different levels required for different adopters along this curve, however bell-shaped or not it is. So if you want to make sure that your uncle or your grandmother is eager to use this new product and take advantage of it, that may be a different profile than the neighborhood techie. So the value in portraying diffusion and adoption this way is that it can be easily applied as a conceptual framework, and it gives you some guidance on how to pay attention to different kinds of adopters to interpret how a particular innovation is going to be accepted into the marketplace.